going to call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Venus Independent School District on April 20th, 2026 at 6 p.m. And we do have a quorum. If everyone would please stand for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republics for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'd like to welcome everybody here tonight. Thank you for coming. We're going to go to item number 4, recognitions. In a minute.
Okay, before we move on to the students, I'd like to take a moment to recognize 2 special members. I was at a superintendent meeting last month. Every month I have to go to the Region 11 superintendent meeting and had to answer a few questions about board members. And the question came up, what's our longest serving board members? Come to find out, we're doing some research. We may have the record here in Venus ISD, and I figured that, hey, you know what, probably need to recognize these 2 individuals. We have one individual, Mr. Gregory Hoffman, that's 30 years or more, and another member, Mr. Joe Russell, more likely 40 years or more. We're doing the research right now to determine if we do have the record of Venus ISD, and that's something I need to recognize. Over 70 years of service to the Venus ISD community, and I'd like to give them an award. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Just a service award.
So you want me to take that to Joe?
No, just Tasha's going to give it to me. Yeah, ma'am.
Well, you don't have to, Greg. He said no. Yes. Okay.
We're going to go ahead and begin the awards with the Student of the Month. The first Student of the Month is from Venus Primary School, Jamison Schutz. Jamison has shown incredible growth this school year, both academically and personally. This year, he worked hard to develop self-control and positive coping skills. Now, Jamison approaches his day with a calm, collected attitude, showing resilience and a willingness to learn. We're so proud of the progress he has made and the maturity he demonstrates each day. Next, we have Venus Elementary School, Scarlett Torres. Okay, Scarlett's not here, but I'm going to go ahead and read hers anyway. Scarlett was nominated by her teachers for truly exemplifying what it means to be a bulldog. Scarlett is a shining star in our hallways. Scarlett devotes her time at school to learning everything that she can be fueled into a remarkable drive to reach her future goals and achieve success. We absolutely love having Scarlett in our classes. Keep up the amazing work, Scarlett. Next, for Venus Middle School, Jocelyn Ramos. Jocelyn is truly an exceptional student who consistently demonstrates academic excellence as a straight-A student. Known for her reliability and proactive nature, she is always the first to volunteer or assist with teachers' requests. Her impact extends beyond the classroom. She recently led the Avid Excel sixth graders in a standout performance at EB Night. We're incredibly proud of everything Jocelyn has accomplished this year. And last but not least, Venus High School, Trey Worthy. Balancing athletics and academics is no easy task, yet Trey Worthy makes it look effortlessly. He excels in the classroom with great grades, competes fiercely in track and football, and represents our school with pride through UIL events. His determination, positive attitude, and drive to succeed inspires everyone around him. Okay, we did something a little different this year. Instead of announcing the campus staff and teachers of the month, we announced of the year, and we did it on campus. Reason being, wanted to take our time, make sure we nominate good people to go on to the region, because I'm a competitive person. I like to win instead of waiting until end of June and give them 2 weeks to work on that packet. We'll select the district winner, but I want to recognize the campus staff and members of the year. And once you come up here, please stand for a group picture. I would like to start with Venus Primary, Angie Gutierrez. Stacy Arietta. Venus Middle School, Casey Becker. And Venus High School, Charlotte Workman. Next, we're going to go ahead and move on to the Teachers of the Year. We'll start with Venus Primary, Criselda Hendrick. Venus Elementary, Mindy Steele. Venus Middle School, Benjamin Vollmer. And Venus High School, Rebecca Hennard. Yes. Next, we're going to go ahead and start with girl basketball. We're going to bring what's going to happen right now, we're going to bring the coaches in. We're going to start with girls basketball. Also, if you would like to take off right now, please feel free to do so, unless you'd like to sit through the rest of the board meeting. You're always welcome to. We don't want to rush anybody off, but if you receive your award and you want to take off, feel free to do so.
One of the biggest programs we had major success in this year was girls basketball, and that didn't go unnoticed with our coaching staff. Our District 12 4A Coach of the Year was Andrew Haybeck.
And this couldn't be done without this special group of young ladies I'm about to. And this wouldn't have been able to be done without this special group of young ladies. They're truly remarkable on and off the court, and it's going to show here in a few seconds. I'd first like to announce Mariana Cross, who was recognized as the Region 12 4A Basketball Defensive Player of the Year and Academic All-District. And Tyler Ward, First Team All-District. Avery Sampson, who was basketball second team all-district and academic all-district and academic all-state second team. Bailey Hayback, second team all-district and academic all-district. Haley Hopper, who was basketball honorable mention all-district and academic all-district. She is not here. Callie Ward, who was basketball honorable mention all-district and academic all-district. London Edwards, who was academic all-district. And Abigail York, who was basketball academic all-district as well. And last but not least, Trista Lutz was basketball academic all-district. Don't hide behind it.
That was in stereo, whoever said that. It was back here and up there. It was back here too.
It's hard. Oh, you can hold it? Yeah, I'll drop it. It's on.
Our boys basketball team also had some academic and athletic all-district nominee or reward, whatever they got. Recipients, wrong word. This group had to fight through a lot of adversity. We only had 2 varsity returners for the entire year, and they still found a way to grow throughout the year. To start with, we had Kevin Spicer Jr. was first team all-district. He is not here tonight. Colton Dady was second team all-district and academic all-district. Titus Janssen was honorable mention. Donovan Irby was academic all-district. And Wesley Rivers was academic all-district.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Buck, you're the only one that can stand behind Colton. Everybody else is, yes, there we go, I can see.
Oh, and we done? Okay, I can go ahead and speak. All right. Okay. This is boys and girls powerlifting team. Can y'all hear me? Is that good? Okay. All right. By the way, there's like 19 days of school left. Just to let you know. But these are my powerlifters. I had one who's Victoria Rivera, who couldn't make it today because there was an emergency in her family, but she received fourth place. She got the big old giant medal, fourth place medal for girls regional powerlifting. We had our senior Yoaneth, who also participated, and Mackenzie Rodriguez, who participated in the girls regional powerlifting. On the boys' side, we had Xavier, who also got a fourth place medal, finished fourth. The top two go to state. He missed out just barely at the very end. He missed out with that to go to state. So, but we had Aiden, who was our freshman this year in the 123s, did an amazing job. And then we also had Ernesto, who couldn't make it today. But she doesn't know this, but Yoaneth, as a senior, I get to nominate seniors, boys and girls. And in the girls, it's the Texas High School Women's Powerlifting Association. And you get to nominate a senior who has an average of 92 or above. And then from there, they award them whatever. So I have to send in their class rank and all of that stuff. And Yo-Yo got first team academic all-state of Texas Women's Powerlifting Association. So that just means that we were waking up at 4:30 in the morning and she was still keeping her grades up and we were getting everything done. That's it.
Oh, I guess speaking of this mic? Okay. Hi, Coach Ward, girls soccer. These girls had the best record in district in Venus history at 8-3-1, finished third in district, qualified for the playoffs again. Lost a heartbreaker to Brownwood, but that's okay. We fought hard in that game. Some notable things that happened. Most career assists, Aaliyah Para. Most career goals with 74. Most goals in a season, Val Miranda. Scuba. And then our goalkeeper won District Goalkeeper of the Year for back-to-back years. And she had most career saves, 230. Most career shutouts, 24. Quite an honor. Very proud. Okay. And Victoria Ellison. This is her first year starting on varsity. And she played so well. She earned all district second team. Good job. Then we have Utility Player of the Year. That's a district award. Utility Player of the Year. That was unanimous, by the way. And Miley Almager, second team all district. Very proud of how far you've come, Miley. And Aaliyah Para, first team all district. That's all we have. We have more awards, but they're not all here, so.
Do you want to just say their names?
Yeah, absolutely. And we have Juliana Science, first team all district. Hold, please. Jennifer Science, obviously goalkeeper of the year. Hema Gonzalez, honorable mention. Emily Violon, second team all district. Tilly Frazier, honorable mention. She's a freshman. September Crum, honorable mention. She's at work. She works at Whataburger. Hannah Norris, first team all district. Picture. Thank you.
Thank you for bending down. Keep on going. Keep going. There you go. Keep on going.
Hi everyone, how are you? I'm gonna stand over here, my voice is nice and
Here,
loud.
so just use that.
Okay, I'll put my band director voice on. I am really excited to introduce these kiddos to you, so I'm gonna have them say their first names and then I'm gonna tell you how amazing they are.
My name is Juliet. My name is Bella. My name is Mackenzie. My name is Allison. My name is Elena. My name is Rolanda.
Okay, so many of you have seen these guys performing at halftime at football games and things like that. They decided and told me they wanted to do it, and I went, okay. All right, here we go. So they wanted to do Winter Guard, which is if you take what we do outside on a football field, you eliminate the band, you have the music recorded, you put it in a gym, and it's just them, okay? So the level of the routine has to be upgraded, their level of performance quality, because the judges are so close, okay? So it has elements of dance, it has elements of tossing rifles in the air and catching them, throwing flags, and all looking gorgeous while you're doing it. So as we leveled up this year, we went through a circuit of, went all the way down to Austin and as far out to Tyler and El Paso. That was like our area. There were 44 groups, and these guys came away with, bum, 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 they are the champions. They are the champions. The last time that Venus had a Winter Guard was over 10 years ago. So there you go. So we're really excited to be able to bring this level of artistry back to the community, and I'm just so proud to have them for y'all.
Thank you for bringing that back.
Anybody in that picture too?
Oh, can I go back over here?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Rosie, did anybody sign up to speak? Okay. We'll go to item 6, presentation of campus reports.
All right, good evening. Okay, so the end of the year is here. We are excited and we are working hard. Our teachers have just started their end of the year assessments today, so we're excited to really take a moment and look at our students' growth. So I can't wait to share that with you guys. For our attendance, this April ADA, we're now at 95%, so that's great for our campus. And then for pre-K enrollment, this is big news, and we have enrolled 29 students in the last, week and a half for pre-K, and 9 of those are bilingual students. So we are growing that program. And then we've enrolled 11 new kindergarten students also. So that's pretty significant to our growth. So we're excited. Just within the past couple weeks, we've had a PTO fall carnival. I hope you saw pictures of that on Facebook. It was great. A lot of community members and students in attendance. We had a field day last week. We had our first grade music program, and then we're just looking forward to awards and kindergarten graduation. Thank you.
Hi. Tomorrow morning, you will probably hear a collective sigh come from the elementary campus. We're tired, but our kids are ready. So just to highlight a few things that we have done to kind of bring some encouragement and recognition to our kiddos throughout this STAR season. We have had our parents come to the porch with us along with some staff and cheer our kids on as they got there on STAR morning. This afternoon, for our last STAR performance in math, we had a clap out where they walked around the campus and everybody cheered each other on. I would like to recognize Miss Lee also. She has made sure that every single student in her 5th grade math classes have a letter from their parent. Their parent was offered the opportunity first, but if a parent could not do that, then some staff across the district has stepped up and wrote letters to our kids so that they'll have them first thing in the morning before or she might have given them to them this afternoon before they take the test. And just one other thing I'd like to point out is our little Special Olympics kiddos. Our little Yalissa won first in the 50-yard dash, and she is just a joy. We just call her our little diva on campus. And Kelvin won first in softball throw and second in the 50-yard dash. And Kaysen won third in the 50-yard dash. So we were so very proud of them. I don't think they've been and done this in a while. There you see pictures of our STAR support crew that were on the porch. So just to kind of wrap that up, one thing we are doing this month, we are having an attendance push to try to get our attendance back up a little bit. And we have our SRO, Officer Foyt, we have a putt-putt golf party that she has sponsored for the grade level that wins the best attendance. So more to come. We'll see how that goes. And that's about it. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put some guilt on y'all because although the elementary had lots of people cheering theirs on, the middle school had one person. So if y'all want to come cheer us on tomorrow, we would love to have y'all there. They come in the building at 7:15. So if you want to be there to cheer them on as they come in, that would be fabulous. They were excited about the one that they had. So STAR tomorrow, math. We've been working very, very hard to get there. The teachers, the kids, everybody. So we are excited. We anticipate good things. Exciting things that have been going on. We got 6 Taffy kids that are going to national competition in Portland. I think we're going to talk more about that later. Miss Nickel, when I wrote this, I said she was leaving for DC. She actually got back today. She went and represented Texas at the National Association of Secondary School Principals as the Assistant Principal of the Year for Texas. And then we had we had TSA, and we had 48 middle school kids and 34 high school kids go compete at state for TSA. And we have, I'm rounding because I may not have the exact number. I believe it's 26. Does that sound right, Mr. Gatewood? I believe it's 26 kids that will go on to nationals in Washington, D.C. And that's an exciting time. I emailed Mr. Gatewood about this today. That the same time we're in D.C. is when they will be doing their big 250-year celebration. And so for kids to be able to be a part of that, that's a once-in-a-lifetime event for them. So we are super excited about that coming up.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I was thinking about Ms. Buck's travel plans because you've got a group going to Portland and a group going to D.C. So I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to work out. But we'll be in Portland, so we'll receive you there. Okay, if you look at the academic report, there wasn't really much change. The only change is the top one where it says failed one more class because it went from 10 to 16. So that's a pattern we're looking at. but the bottom one failed one or more classes. It went from 23 to 28, so a little fluctuation. So it seems like they're wanting to quit as the year, starts to tail off. So we're doing several things as we go through. Counselors have been busy with talks and parent phone calls. Also, the attendance report was at 93. There again, we're having some senioritis. They're wanting to not come to class because they think they're through, so it's affected a little, not much. And for the 6 weeks enrollment, it's at 667, and I think we're at 671. For our discipline, the only thing that's really not kicked up, but we had, I think, 1 nicotine vape, and we've had 4 since the last board meeting. So it's one of those where you try to keep up when that sensor goes off. So now for the positive highlights, you heard about some of the athletes that when they came through just a bit ago. And again, I want to reiterate, every time I see the athletes, I can't stop but to think of them about students first, because most of these people that come up here are knocking it out of the park in academics as well. And I think they're just well-rounded. So, they have success both in and out. And one of those young ladies is Devin Summers, and she was recognized by Texas High School Softball Pitcher of the Week. She has another award coming. She's uncommitted, so she's got a lot of people wanting to visit with her. Moving on the girls' soccer, they did, when Coach Ward said they lost a hard one, they did. They were ahead 2-0 in the first half, and somehow they ended up losing 3-2 in the last 2 minutes. So that did not go good with me driving home, so I know it did not go good with them. But they were fine on Monday. But Valerie Miranda was Utility Player of the Year, and again, Jennifer Sines was the Goalkeeper of the Year. There again, the good thing about that is when these girls and some of the athletes say, hey, I have something I want to show you, and I say, just email it to me. And what it is, it's clips of their 4 years that they've been in school, but then it's also their GPA, and then they start sending me schools like, which school do you think I need to go to? Well, I'm not the one going, but we try to match up their skills, because some of them want to be engineers, some of them want to be nurses, but I've never had one of them say, I want to be a professional soccer player. And to me, that says a lot because they're in the right place. They've had some good guidance, but there's some special kids there. Moving on to CTE Super Saturday, there is Trey. You met Trey, Student of the Month. You're going to hear a lot about Trey. Talk about academic performance. Yeah, he's pretty well high level in just about anything he does, but he was great with the kids on CTE Super Saturday with the modeling and the building. And I went to a AVID class where they do the tutoring. It's phenomenal how he gets kids, grade level or below. Sometimes he just doesn't understand why they don't understand. So he goes back down and breaks it down for them. Finishing up, we did have NHS induction, and there's Trey again. So that was good to see because we had the passing of the torch. So had a lot of family members there. UIL academics, Mr. Godding has really grown that program. I know when a couple of years ago we had maybe 1, 2. He had 27 total compete, and there you see the regional qualifiers. And with Trey and Arsenia's, I'm pretty sure that math-wise they're going to be okay. Presley Frazier can write, so I'm kind of curious to see how they do at regionals, and you'll hear more about that. I'm waiting for the results of that to come back. Upcoming events, we're busy. I think for the next month, if we're not moving chairs and tarps from one gym to the next, something's not right, because we've got something going in, channeling through there just about every day. But we had prom, and that went very well. We're finishing up STAR. On the 30th, we'll have our CCMR Expo. And I think Christina said she has 50 vendors showing up. So that was big. So I don't know where we're going to put them. But I was in a meeting with Gay today for the Cinco de Mayo event. So she's planning that. And then AP testing starts in May the 4th through the 15th. Thank you.
I have a question. How many students you may have said are at risk for not graduating?
We have 3. There was 3 last time, and we have 3 this time.
Same 3?
Yes. And there's extenuating circumstances. You know, we're trying to help that out.
Thank you. We'll go to item 7, annual announcement of board training hours. Under State Board of Education rule, completing required continuing education each year of service is a basic obligation and expectation of any sitting board member. As board president, I am required to announce the name of each member who has completed the required continuing education, has exceeded the required continuing education, and is deficient in meeting the required continuing education. The requirements for training are measured as of the first anniversary of the date of the trustee's election or appointment or 2-year anniversary of his or her previous training as applicable. There are 8 training areas for board members' continuing education: local district orientation, orientation to the Texas Education Code, post-legislative update to the Texas Education Code, team building, additional continuing education, evaluating student academic performance and setting goals, identifying and reporting abuse, trafficking, and other maltreatment of children, school safety. To the extent applicable to each board member, I will announce the completion or deficiency as to required training. For members who still have time remaining to complete required training, I will announce those board members who have scheduled timely training and those who have not yet scheduled the training. At the conclusion of the announcement, I will announce any board members' training in excess of the continuing education requirements. Local district orientation. No new board members were required to complete local district orientation training for the time period covered by this announcement. Orientation to the Texas Education Code. No new board members were required to complete orientation to the Texas Education Code training for the time period covered by this announcement. Post-legislative update to the Texas Education Code. The following board members have completed post-legislative update to the Texas Education Code training: Greg Hoffman, Amber Crafton, Tasha Gore, Kirby Sansom, Joe Russell, Randall Buck, Donald Shaw. Team building. The following board members have completed the annual team building training: Greg Hoffman, Amber Crafton, Tasha Gore, Kirby Sansom, Joe Russell, Randall Buck, Donald Shaw. Additional continuing education. The following board members have completed the additional continuing education requirements: Greg Hoffman, Amber Crafton, Tasha Gore, Kirby Sansom, Joe Russell, Randall Buck, Donald Shaw. Evaluating student academic performance and setting goals. The following board members have completed the biennial training on evaluating student academic performance and setting goals: Greg Hoffman, Amber Crafton, Tasha Gore, Kirby Sansom, Joe Russell, Randall Buck, Donald Shaw. Identifying and reporting abuse, trafficking, and other maltreatment of children. The following board members have completed the biennial training on identifying and reporting abuse and trafficking: Greg Hoffman, Amber Crafton, Tasha Gore, Kirby Sansom, Joe Russell, Randall Buck, Donald Shaw. School safety. The following board members have completed the biennial training on school safety: Greg Hoffman, Amber Crafton, Tasha Gore, Kirby Sansom, Joe Russell, Randall Buck, Donald Shaw. Exceeding required continuing education. Board member Donald Shaw exceeded the required amount of continuing education training by 1.25 additional hours. Board member Joe Russell exceeded the required amount of continuing education training by 2 additional hours. Board member Randall Buck exceeded the required amount of continuing education training by 6 additional hours. Any questions? That is so much. We'll go to item 8, consider approval of student travel to Washington, D.C. for TSA national competition. Mrs. Buck?
So we are just seeking permission to take kids to Washington, D.C. for the TSA national competition. We can get exact numbers. We sent them, I think it's 26 is the number of kiddos that are going. So I can answer any questions that you have. Okay.
sponsors or volunteers
Yes.
going?
Yes, absolutely. I think we are good with that. We do go. We usually do more than the 10-to-1 because we're taking them through TSA and airports in another state and all of that. But yes, we have turned all that in.
You'll have enough for both of them since they're both kind of going on at the same time, right?
Yes. That gets a little complicated. So yes, we do. We have one kid that overlaps. And so I have one sponsor that will leave Portland and fly with that student to DC so she can do both of the competitions. But we've worked with Lanny and Mr. Gatewood to kind of get all of that organized. So yes, we have one of the administrators will fly with her. So.
Any other questions? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the travel to Washington, D.C.
Motion by Amber. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Kirby. All in favor? Motion carries. Go to item number 9. Consider approval of student travel to Portland, Oregon for Taffy National Competition. Mrs. Camacho.
Good afternoon. All right. We are seeking approval for our Taffy students to go to nationals. This is for VMS and VHS. For VMS, we have 6 students, a sponsor and admin going. For VHS, we have 4 students, a sponsor and an admin going as well. And you'll see the projected expenses up there. They are, especially airfares, changing daily, so we're ready to get it locked in because the gas situation is scaring us a little bit. So there's your projected expenses: registration, airfare, hotel, and Uber to and from the airport, since we will not be renting a vehicle. Any questions?
What?
I know. Literally, today I updated it and it went up in about 2 hours. Like $15, but still, like every time I check, it's more.
Oh, wow. Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the travel to Portland.
Motion by Amber. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Kirby. All in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go to item 10, review of insurance options for next fiscal year.
President Gore, members of the board, good evening. There's no purchasing decision tonight on this. We're going to bring it in May, and this is just giving you a heads up what we're looking at, what organizations we're dealing with, and just kind of breaking down our decision process of which organization we might go with. Just a quick recap of the insurance that covers here. They cover our real estate, our buildings, auto, general liability, workers' comp, cyber protection, and equipment. So they typically bundle all this together. There may be some groups that put out a quote that listed out this way, and then maybe they're grouped into here, but essentially they all cover these in a broad category area. We are looking at 3 potential providers. We have TPS, PCAT, and we are currently under TASB right now. TPS and PCAT are both with the interlocal agreement with TASB, so the procurement is handled in the same way that a co-op is handled. I do have TPS and PCAT quotes. I do not have TASB quote. I was trying to get it for this meeting, and unfortunately they couldn't get it to me. So I'm not going to discuss numbers on what TPS and PCAT have, just for the fairness in procurement. You know, there could be argued that TASB could see this and do that, but I will be breaking down scenarios of what our decision process will be. As far as PCAT goes, one thing to keep in mind is if we do go with PCAT, there is a 3-year commitment through their co-op. If their rates increase 10% or more, we do have the option to opt out. So that is at least kind of a 10% cap on that. It is handled through the co-op, and they do service Midlothian ISD and Duncanville ISD. As far as TPS, that's going to be the Texas Political Subdivisions. Same thing, interlocal co-op. They do service Cleburne, Alvarado, and Red Oak ISD. The main decision thing that we're going to go for is what kind of deductible do we want to carry. It's just like your health plan. Higher deductible, lower monthly premium. It's like a clutch. It's just going to go up and down. So it depends on how we want to approach that. I do have some scenarios because pretty much the big driving cost factor in our insurance is going to be some sort of weather event. A lot of the auto, the general liability stuff, they're pretty similar in price. So a big factor is what sort of deductible we want to carry. So right here, we've got the two Venus Middle School buildings. We're looking at about $30 million between all of this. That's going to be the core buildings, any sort of portables, field houses, and stuff like that. So the way it works is we have the set values, organization A, B, and C. You pay 2% of, let's say there is a wind or hail event right here. So we would pay 2% of the actual value of these buildings, and then depending on what our minimum is, that's what we would have to pay to get these fixed. So if we have a 2% 100K, 2% of the values of this building right here would be $615. One organization may have a 1% deductible with a $250 minimum, so then we don't have to pay $307 if something happened in this area. And then if we had a 502%, we'd be in the same boat with $615. So just kind of laying out the different scenarios of where we're going to go for something, you know, good value with the deductible and the percentage. Here's another scenario. We have the admin building right here in the primary. If something were to happen right here, that's about 18 million, 2% 500. On this one, so 2% of the value right here with 100K minimum would put us at 355, and then we would come in right under at 1%. So we would have to at least pay 250,000 right here because we didn't meet the 250 threshold. All other perils, that's going to be, let's say lightning struck the admin building and it burned down. They have different, you know, if you have a 1% and you've got 250 minimum, you may have a little bit of a higher all of the perils. So it's just kind of a give and take in different categories. So this would be the scenario of what we'd have to pay if the admin building burned down. Our core decision process is going to be trying to find the best value on the deductible and the percentage point. That's where we're going. If you have any other questions, I wish I could present the other two quotes, but just to be fair, I don't have TASBs yet. So
I have less of a question about a quote as more of the debacle we dealt with TASB in the last 2 years, collecting on different things that have happened. I don't know if that's gonna be a conversation we're gonna have or what, but that, you know, a prior performance of your insurance company ought to play a little bit in our decision of, it doesn't do any good if they say they're gonna cover it and then they don't, then they play hardball like they have with our, I think it was air conditioners, wasn't it? And the roof, yeah, so it's, you know, and another question, like, do we get valuations for like just a middle school for particular? Some of those buildings may be negatively valued. Do they give us money back if they, I mean, I'm just saying, do we look at the value of those buildings?
So I don't have the property count, but it is probably 30 or 40, because they go it by.
I mean, you had that big triangle, so I didn't know if they say that's $30 million total.
So they'll value one of these portables at a certain value. But yeah, this is everything in this circle right here.
I mean, you get a chance to look at that and go and argue that maybe some of those middle portables that if they value them at 40,000, and do we have a chance to snicker at that and go?
Yeah, so they do give us the property list and we do look over it. So if there's something that is out of a line or something that we disagree with, we do have a chance to bring that up.
That's something you'll look at.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna look at that individually. You'll bring that and you'll make a recommendation to the three.
Correct.
Have you spoke to the other ISDs about the other two?
Yes.
And got references
I reached
on 'em?
out to Julie Phillips at Red Oak. She's the purchasing director there, and she's been really happy with them. And then Shauna Valentine at Midlothian ISD, she's their purchasing director. I reached out to her too.
Okay.
Have you had a chance to reach out to Waxahachie about TPS?
I can reach out.
I know they've had in the last 5 years, they've had some significant claims with some of the weather stuff, so I didn't know if they may be able to speak a little bit about quality or.
I'll reach out to them.
Any other questions? No? Okay. Thank you. And then review of janitorial services for the upcoming fiscal year. Adam 11. Okay.
So just kind of hitting the reset on the procurement roadmap. So we went out for RFP on janitorial service back in 21-22. And so we're in 25-26, and this is the end of the last extension on that RFP. So it was 3 years with 2 1-year additional extensions. Going into 26-27, we're going to be getting quotes under a cooperative contract through TIPS. And then going into the 27-28 year, I plan to go RFP next year. That way we can incorporate the new high school building and have actual square footage that we can kind of build it to fit our needs. So we are utilizing, basically went request for proposal these years, co-op this year, and then going forward, we'll be back in that same RFP cycle with the new high school included. I do have, and just a quick summary of services, they do day and night cleaning. They do provide consumables. That's going to be your hand dispensers, chemicals, and then staffing, day and night staffing. There's typically a day crew and a night crew. We do have 3 potential vendors on this one. We have Macklemore, Falk, which is our current provider, and then Marcus and Associates. They're all going to be done through the TIPS co-op contract for the procurement side. As far as the staffing breakdown, I do have all 3 quotes, so we can talk numbers, but the final decision will be in May. So if there's any sort of, things you want to bring up, this is what this meeting's for. So we are looking at 17 total with Macklemore. Marcus is going with 21 total, and Falk, this is their current staffing model. 10, 2 per campus with 2 floaters, and then 14 at night. It's pretty close right there, but 2 per campus with no floaters. We like having the extra hands during the day. We want to make sure campuses are taken care of. We want to make sure they're happy. As far as the cost breakdown, Marcus is the cheapest, $700, about the same staffing ratio. And this is not an indication of their organization. The only issue is there was not a lot of Texas references. They hit Arkansas trade shows. They have done a few Idea B schools in Austin for about a year, but there just was not a big volume of Texas ISDs to contact and see how the service was. With Macklemore, we did get a lot of references that were similar size to us, and they also service Hill College, Palestine, and Aledo. So at least, and I did reach out to them to find out how the service was, and they gave thumbs up on it. They are at $717,000 for the year for the annual contract, and then Falk's under the co-op is going to be $740,000 with our current staffing. Key takeaways: Marcus, we would be the flagship. They're the cheapest. Macklemore would be good price, but there's going to be reduced staffing, and then with Falk, they would be the highest among those, but there would be no risk of disruption of service.
Where did they come up with their staffing numbers? Did you tell them our square footage and they said this
So
is the number?
I got them with our square footage, and then I did mention how many we do currently have not on staff, but through a contracted service. And when they submitted, that was their best estimate of how they would approach the square footage.
Okay.
I know I mentioned this in the weeds a little bit, but have we met with the principals to talk about? I know in the last time we tied this conversation, we referred everything to Ronnie, but I don't know if Ronnie sees day-to-day operations on the campuses and every campus. Have we met with the principals to talk about what their opinions are on Falk currently?
I can.
Compared to?
I met with Ronnie as far as getting the staffing and getting the square footage and stuff, but yeah, I can definitely reach out on the
I just
principal.
know as a campus principal, you see that every day, or whoever runs that. I mean, it may not be a campus principal at the bus department or somewhere like that, so it's but
that was one of the big day staff. I mean, that was a big decision. I definitely want to meet with them, but making sure the campuses are taken care of to the day is a very key part of the decision making. But I will reach out.
And one question I want to ask you, just make sure, ask the manager, where do they stay? I know Falk's manager's local. Like, for instance, here something happens at Miss Buck's campus, the flooding, they show up and they take care of it. They employ local staff. Yes.
And that was my point about campus principals. Whereas they know the emergencies they've had, they know the quality of service they've had, and at $1,500 a month, that disruption of service may mean more to us than, or if they're not happy, it may be time for a change. So I don't know, but that they'll be each person at each building would probably be able to tell you better.
Yeah, I'll reach out.
For Falk, how much of an increase is that?
So currently we're about 726. this year. So we're looking at about 14,000 increase. And a lot of that is when you go through a cooperative contract, there is some backside to go through the not for us, but for to utilize the cooperative contract. So that would be probably the percentage points for them. And that's why we're going RFP the next year. That way we can get.
Any other questions? No? Okay, thank you. Item 12, discussion regarding SB 546 compliance.
Good evening, President Gore and board. This is going to be really boring. I'm so sorry. Okay, so back in September 1st, there was a SB 546, which means that school buses need to be in compliance with seatbelts. So currently, we have a total of 49 buses at the lot. 29 of them have the 3-point seatbelts required by law. 4 of them have lap belts only, and 16 have no seatbelts. So we're finding out that 4 of the buses cannot be retrofitted. What that means is that they're too old. The buses itself, they cannot find a contractor to do them. And then if we did it, we would have to keep the bus an additional 5 years. And at this point, these buses are at the end of their life. One of the buses does qualify for the Clean Bus Grant. We'll discuss that a little bit later. I have 2 buses, 2 of those 4 buses currently in use to apply for the grant in 2 years. So that we can utilize the funds for that. It gives us about $106,000 per bus. So then that helps with the replenish of the fleet. One of the buses, it's one of our sped buses. We can't even retrofit it, and we cannot use it towards a grant. So that would be one that we would look into auctioning off and getting rid of.
I don't want to interrupt you. I have a quick question. So if a bus can't be retrofitted, so does this Senate bill also cover activity buses?
Activity buses are required to have seatbelts, yes.
So if it's an athletic only bus, it still has to be retrofitted to 3-point?
Yes, because it's still considered a school bus.
Okay.
Yes. However, we don't have any activity buses on our fleet. They're all school buses.
If we turned it into an activity bus, I was just thinking about if you turned it into it.
Okay. Yes, they all have to have anything that transports students. Capacity of a CDL commercial vehicle bus has to have seatbelts. Okay, so what I did earlier this year is I moved around bus numbers, and what that's going to do in about 3.5 years is make our fleet, the mileage, pretty much mid-range now. So that's going to continue with the longevity of the routes so that we don't have to continuously use one bus and possibly replace it faster. It's less wear and tear on the engine. So we talked about the Clean Bus Grant. We have the 3 buses. So with the financial summary of this, with the 16 buses that need to be retrofit, it can be anywhere from $30,000 to $45,000. What we're running into right now is that companies are able to do it. However, they're having to replace the entire seat. Once they bolt the seats, they have to then replace the boards that are in the bottom of the bus because the safety has been compromised. So we have till 29-30 school year to retrofit all of our buses. In that time, we'll have new buses into the fleet. We'll be able to auction off buses and get some rotation going to where that. I'll work with Lanny on that, but I think at the end there might be 7 buses that we need to retrofit after all said and done. So that gets us down after the Clean Bus Grant and auctioning off the buses that are just costing us money to keep going, or more money to keep going than to keep on the fleet. So with that being said, the 16 buses that need to be retrofit, The total cost will be $630,000 and $630,000. The 4 buses that need to be replaced are $580,000, which the total project will be $1.2 million. And then with the grants that we can get with those 3 buses, would subtract $336,000 for that. So this is what we have in our fleet currently with the IC buses, the Bluebirds, and the Thomas buses. And so that is, we have 8 internationals. Oh, the 4 that need, or the 16 that need to be retrofit are 8 internationals, 4 Thomases, and 4 Bluebirds, including 2 of the minibuses. And so this is just a general breakdown. Again, we have companies out there that are trying to just replace the backs of the seats so it doesn't compromise the floorboards, and then that doesn't have to be replaced. So right now they are strict on who is able to excuse me, who is able to replace them, because they have to be taught, they have to be certified, and then they have to do a pull test on them. So if we don't have to put them into the floor, bolt them into the floor, we don't have to do the pull test. So we just have to test the strength and the ability of that. So again, we have till the 29-30 school year to have all of the school buses retrofit with the 3-point seat belts.
Have you already applied for the clean bus grant?
I have. We have 1 bus. Okay, so with the clean bus grant, the bus has to be in use for 2 years and has to have the inspection done. So we had 1 bus this year that qualified, and we actually did get that grant. So that's something that we're going to be talking about in July and utilizing that grant for July.
Okay, this is another unfunded mandate by the state of Texas.
Yes.
This is a statewide problem.
We
There
have
are
30
numerous school districts in the state of Texas that are in much worse financial shape than the state that Venus is. What is the possibility of the state of Texas, the legislature, coming up with some money? Because there's a lot of school districts that are not going to be able to do this.
No, absolutely not. There's 3,300 school districts in the state of Texas. A lot of the smaller districts rely on the bus sales and auctions to supply their fleet. I know of a couple of them that have asked us if we're getting rid of them because it supplies their fleet. I'm currently looking at grants. They haven't come out with one. I've heard of one in the wind, but it hasn't come out yet. And again, we have some time because one, I know that it's going to cost some money, but 2, we're going to get to a point where we're not having to unbolt the seat, redo the floor, spend $45,000 to $50,000 on each bus, to where we can retrofit the back where it can be $25,000 to $30,000. And so that at that point, I think if we wait a couple years, we got the 2 grant buses that can be a possibility in 2 years that I put back into rotation, and they just have to be on a route. So we're utilizing one of them for Mr. Webb's back and forth from 3rd Street to the school, and the other one is for practicum. And so she's utilizing those 2 buses, so we have those on a route, and they qualify for the clean bus in 2 years. So we've taken that step there to look towards the future. But I do believe that they will come out with more shops, and someone's going to come out with, hey, let's figure out how to replace the backs, because smaller districts, worse off than ours, as you stated, cannot afford this. No, because they're buying a bus from auction, let's say $8,000, and now they're told that they have to spend $45,000 to fix it.
Yeah, the legislature has to do something. This is...
Oh, I firmly believe that. Well, that was back when in 2011 when they passed the law and we had to purchase buses now with seat belts. At some point, there had to be a give, because districts could not replace all their fleet with school bus or with seat belts. But anything purchased after 2011 had to be purchased with seat belts.
When did this pass?
September 1st, 2025.
2025. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else have any other questions? No? Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll go to item 13, executive session at 7:05 for 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, 551.076, 551.082, and 551.0821. We're gonna go to item number 14, reconvene from executive session at 8:16 PM. Go to item 15, consent agenda. Did anybody have any questions on anything on the consent agenda? No, do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the previous month's board agenda.
Motion by Amber, do we have a second? Second by Greg. All in favor? Motion carries. Go to item 16, consider approval of bus purchase Longhorn bus sales.
Yes, the last remaining thing in our replacement plan fund for this year is purchasing a new bus. We do have 3 quotes. We are opting to go for Longhorn. That's going to be an international bus. We've had better luck with international, and they fit with our fleet. And if there's any other technical style items, Renee can answer those as far as the bus goes. But we do have 3 quotes. They are all on buy board contracts, and we're aiming to go for Longhorn bus. And it is part of the replacement plan funding that we set at the beginning of the year.
And it has seatbelts? Yes. Okay. Do anybody have any questions?
I just got so in the pre-information we had, it just said that Longhorn, one of the biggest reasons we chose them was because it matched more of the parts and all that of our fleet. But when I was looking at our list earlier, it looked like we were like third of all these different buses. If that's our qualifying factor, I mean, at 49 buses, how many internationals do we have?
Quite a few, actually, but we're going with Longhorn because we have better service. It's not set to one vendor. We can go to multiple vendors. Darren has a really good rapport with International that's over there. Currently, I'll tell you, I got a Bluebird that's sitting on the lot that's got electrical problems, so that's something we don't want to see.
I'm good with that. It just sounded like in the presentation, in the pre-stuff we read, it sounded like the major reason was that, like, we already had all these parts for International, but you answered my question.
Yeah, no, we have 4 Thomases and I think 5 Bluebirds on the lot right now.
Most of the latest purchases have been international.
Any other questions? No. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the Longhorn bus sale.
A motion by Amber. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Joe. Oh, Greg. Joe, all in favor? Motion carries. Go to item 17, consider approval of budget amendment number 4.
Yes, there's 2 parts to this budget amendment. The first part is with child nutrition. They are awarded a supply chain assistance fund. It had $9,205 left over at the end of the 24-25 school year, and it was not rolled into this year's budget. I discovered that with Tina when we were sitting down for a budget this year, that it went back into their fund, but since we didn't reallocate it at the beginning of the year fund, and we're trying to close it out at the end of this year. So that's where that request is coming from. It had that amount at the end of last year, and we're simply just bringing it back out of fund balance because it wasn't put in the initial budget for food service.
President Gore, can I maybe ask you a question? Maybe you can answer it. So I want to know if this is on topic to this agenda item. So every year we have, last couple of years, we've been allowed to roll over a lot more money in food service. So I'm just questioning now whether or not, it sounds like they're going to get a little boost of $10,000, but every year we get, the last 2 weeks of the budget, we get hit with a bunch of money we got to spend. Can I ask him about that? So I just didn't know with this infusion of an extra $10,000, she always seems to have a lot of money at the end of the year that we get busted like the 2 weeks before the budget's over and we have to approve it because the money's about to end.
We're not in that scenario this year.
If we are, I just wish they'd bring that stuff.
Yeah, there would be a heads up if there was.
So we can table it or something if we need to investigate it
Yeah,
instead of.
no, we're not in that situation this year.
Yes, sir. One of the biggest hidden costs you're going to see in food service, the shipping has went up astronomically this year. So we will not be in that situation where there's extra money left out there within food service.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? We have a motion by Greg. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Am.
Before we vote, there was a second part.
What was the second part of where?
The second part is the TSA funding request.
Parts of the budget,
Yes.
Where? Am I missing it?
It's on
All under number 4?
the bullet item.
Oh.
Sorry.
It's not on here.
It's just all, it's all.
Oh, it's all there? Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
Number 4.
We gotta retract the second retracted motion.
I'm still holding my motion. I mean, you can have discussion anyway.
Yeah. But you still have your motion.
Good job.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Sometimes people make motions before they have the discussion.
Sounds good.
The second part is requesting the funding for the TSA post-district funding amount. I don't want to have to do this again. I'm trying my best to next year calculate what we're going to fund for next year. It is this year, what went wrong with the post-district funding amount that we had and why are we requesting more money. We set aside a very large sum of money to fund these students. Just when you send two groups to opposite sides, East Coast, West Coast, ends of the country, should that have been investigated to see where they're at? Yes. I didn't set the final amount and do that investigation. But yes, I'm doing that now. In fact, with Taffy, they don't even have their next year date set. At least with TSA, it's set in Grapevine, so that'll be about $20K in airfare travel that we don't have to pay next year. But we are putting calculations into post-district funding for next year because I don't want to have to do this again.
Did you look that up? Or are you just going by what somebody told you?
I looked it up. TSA, it
They
showed
should
that.
have posted already.
Yeah, they posted it, and I looked today for Taffy, and they still haven't posted where
But
Taffy's
TSA
at.
is in Grapevine next year. They've already announced that.
From what I've seen, yeah.
Okay.
57,000 is the total cost of the 26 students, or is there more
That
than
is-
just the 26 students?
That is for the entire TSA group to go. That includes chaperones, meals, hotels, registration, airfare.
That's not in addition to something else. That's the total.
Total for that single trip to go to DC.
And in addition to the 26 kids, how many chaperones are going?
I think it's 14.
14?
I have the list. Let me.
So 14 for 26 kids?
No, it's 10.
Am I misunderstanding something?
2 for every 10.
I think that included.
Excuse Taffy too.
That was I'm sorry, that was Taffy, and that included the kids. It's 14 total for 10.
Oh, 14, that's everybody, including chaperones.
That was Taffy.
I think we should just continue guessing and see who gets closest.
Because y'all's math, the math isn't mathing.
I'm gonna say 6 or 7.
The math isn't mathing.
Well,
Are you talking about just TSA or total?
I know, I mean.
I'm showing 6 adults.
6 adults. So, yeah, yeah. So my question is this just says TSA. What about the Taffy going to Portland? Are we gonna have to come back and ask for money for
No.
that?
We did set aside a large amount for post district. What happened is this one particular request just blew it out of the water. And so by requesting this funding amount, the post district will be able to fund the other groups that are tapping into it. In fact, like welding is going to be able to still tap into post district, and just not hitting the reset button. But this is the first year where we have the data for all the groups that will be utilizing it going forward, so we know how to try our best to project it. But this will just fund the TSA national trip. Taffy can come out of the original post district. We don't need to ask for that. In fact, I don't think it's going to have the full $57,000 impact to fund balance. It's just we've still got 2 more months, and it shouldn't be the full amount either. It's just blew what we allocated out of the water with that one.
Any other questions?
And that's the 2 parts.
Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. No, I was just that's the 2 parts in case.
Okay, so we have a motion still by Greg, a second by Amber. All in favor? Motion carries. I'll try to do better. I'm sorry.
Fine and dysfunctional, just in case y'all. Now this is it.
I'm like, I don't. Oh. We'll go to item 18, consider approval to give the superintendent authority to hire contract personnel from April 21st, 2026 through August 31st, 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve superintendent's authority to hire contract personnel.
Motion by Amber, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Kirby. All in favor? Motion carries. Go to item number 19, consider approval of matters related to personnel, resignations, employment position, or contract amendments.
I'll make a motion to approve matters related to personnel, resignation, employment, position, or contract amendments. I'll second.
Motion by Kirby, second by Amber. All in favor? Motion carries. We'll go to item number 20, reports. Mr. Gatewood.
Yes, ma'am. Want to go ahead and start so the community knows where we're at on the bond progress. Again, we're invested in the future. We're going to begin around April 28th with Terracon drilling for soil analysis for the foundation design over there. So looking forward to that. We're going to make a big deal out of it because I think it's important that the community see that, hey, we are moving forward. We didn't just pass a bond. There's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes. It's easy. Like I say, the easy part is getting the bond passed. There's a lot of work that goes into it, which is executing that bond. And as a brand new superintendent, I've learned a lot. That is a lot of work, but we've been very successful so far. We're also coordinating with the city to annex into the city for sewage. We want to annex into the Patriot Estates lift station. So we do have an engineer that's working with us on that. Again, we're focusing on student successes, which is our Tier 1 instruction. That's the heart of what we do, and that's what you'll continue to see out of me is that Tier 1 instruction, because I like to say all the time, you cannot intervene your way out of bad instruction. That is where we're going to spend the bulk of our time, and it's good to see the campuses doing that. We're also want to highlight some success we recently had. CTE Spotlight went to the 6th annual Waldorf. It was a great success out there. We had numerous teams, even had teams from Oklahoma competing. It was great to see our kids compete. Concluded that Friday with the prom, which is also successful, was hosted here in town, which is also good. I also want to talk about the students with TSA. With the TSA, our students advanced to the nationals. That is a huge step for us. They go over there and they compete. I had the opportunity to go over and watch the students do the race car event and also participate running for national office, which is always good to go out and see that there and support the students. I'm not going to steal Dr. Vega's thunder a little bit because I know she's probably going to talk about the teacher incentive allotment. I know that's some great things going on there. I just want to close that Venus ISD continues to move forward with purpose, building for the future, strengthening instruction, and expanding opportunity for our kids. That is what we do here. Thank you.
I think it's my turn next. Okay. So we'll talk about TIA. So we submitted our TIA application with some great support from the Service Center. Coming out and making sure we had kind of all of our T's crossed and our I's dotted. So we'll wait to hear back. I can't remember the date, but in the next month or so, we should hear back if our application was approved. And then we'll move into like our data capture year next year. So excited about that. We have one more STAR test to go, really two. They're both math, so it's one in my head. But tomorrow and the next day, we'll be all done with STAR testing other than any makeups. And that's all gone really, really smoothly. So shout out to campus administrators and Ms. Camacho. I think they've worked really hard to make sure that it went smoothly. I know that Ms. Whitworth said at the elementary, she felt like it was the first time in her being there that the kids really took it really seriously. They were pumped up. They had the people, cheering them on when they came in. And so it felt really good. We're finishing up with DDI, which is my coach that I have from the Service Center from Region 11, but she'll still be supporting us with TIA work. Her role's kind of shifted, and they offer all those services just part of our IS contract with them. And so they'll continue to help us through this TIA. It's a lot of data capture and a lot of data verification. It's a great opportunity for our teachers, but we are really going to have to be diligent in making sure that we're doing that all accurately. Working with Dr. Morgan in the CNI department on our PD calendar for the summer. That's really going to be focused on our goals for the district, strong Tier 1 instruction, implementation of our HQIM with the Bluebonnet Learning coming on, plus our other resources we already have. So we want to make sure everyone feels uber supported and that we're having several offerings where everyone can feel really confident going into next school year. Along with that, we're also working our New Teacher Academy or New Teacher PD days, and then just our Welcome Back Week. And having some collaborative sessions with the principals on like what that's going to look like. So again, everyone feels really prepared to move into next year. That's all I have.
Have we looked at all the changes to Bluebonnet they just put in? With I know they had a little bit of religious stuff that I guess the state wasn't happy with the number of people who went with Bluebonnet, so they put the, you know, the required readings of the Old and New Testament and all
I
that stuff.
have not delved deeply into that because we don't have the actual resources yet. And so, yeah, I can review that though. But basically, if TEA says it's okay, they're sticking it in the Bluebonnet. Yeah.
Did we have any other reports? Did you have anything?
Yeah, Delaney and I are working on payroll projections this week. Hopefully, have them ready for next week, and then we get property values at the end of next week, and then it's budget time right around the corner. So excited to get that going.
Which probably is now the time to let you know
Yeah.
that we would like to meet on May the 11th.
Yes.
That Monday, starting at 6.
That's perfect.
Okay.
I know it was discussed, but I like that. That's
Okay.
good.
Yeah, we figured that was a good day for everybody. I mean, on y'all, I think that worked for y'all, and that's what works for us.
And so then that would put us final approval at the regular May,
Okay.
if that works. Or if there's things that we can change, we can shift to June. So
Yeah.
Okay, you want to do it like
I'm
that?
thinking June's probably.
Okay.
Just.
Yeah.
Because of the conversation we had the last budget meeting.
Yeah.
And all the stuff you're going to bring, or y'all going to bring to us on the 11th.
Yeah.
And the processing is going to take in.
Okay.
maybe the June meeting.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. No, I agree, June. Anything else? No? Okay, we'll go to item 21, board request for additional items. Anybody have a request for any additional items?
Just a reminder that I want that list.
Anything else? No? Okay, so our next meeting will be the 11th, and that's going to be budget and then canvass the votes at 6 p.m. And then our regular board meeting is May 18th, which is my youngest son's birthday, in case y'all wanted to know.
Are you bringing cake?
I will be bringing cake.
Shameless plug.
And we'll go to item 22, adjourn at 8:33.